Today we're going to look at area. For the past couple days we've been looking at perimeter. Today is area. Remember, perimeter you add, area you multiply, perimeter you add, area you multiply. So area is the the area inside the shape. So perimeter is like the outside length, right? And then the area is all of the space on the inside. So area, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply one side by the other side. So today we're going to talk about how to find area in some rectangles and some squares. In the future, like sixth grade and stuff, you might do even like triangles and stuff. So we're going to start off with formulas again. So remember, formulas are extremely important when you are trying to navigate your way through mathematics, and especially perimeter and area and volume. All right, so let's move on. Oops, there we go. So it's a canvas. Xena wants to cover the canvas with special fabric. Go Xena. She needs to know how much fabric to buy to cover the canvas. She can use square inches to measure the canvas. Each side of the square is 1 inch long. All right, so this square. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how many squares wide are long and how many squares wide, or how many squares wide and how many squares long. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 squares. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 squares by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. And as you can see, we did absolutely count that one for both. That was 1 when we're counting to 11 and 1 when we're counting to 8. So we have an 11 by 8 canvas. Don't mind that it's hanging over. Just pretend like it's not. So 11 by 8. So if we want to find the area of this canvas, area equals length times width. So area equals 11 times 8. So the area of the canvas is 88 inches. Square inches, let's be specific. All right, so before we were talking, and it was just like when we're talking perimeter, it would have just been inches. But when we're talking about area, we're talking about square inches, because you can see this is a square inch. So we're talking about how many of these square inches would fit in this whole area. All right, so 88 square inches is the area of this canvas. All right, so the area is the measure of the inside. I don't know why this Google Drive thing just showed up, but don't mind it. You can find the area of a rectangle or square by covering the surface of the shape with unit squares. Obviously, we don't have that ability always, because you don't have these like fancy little unit squares just to plop down on a picture. These are arranged in columns and rows. So sometimes they're going to put the unit squares in. All you have to do is count them and then make the array. Sometimes they're not going to include unit squares, and you just have to find out what the side lengths are and multiply those. So the squares form an array. The array can be solved using multiplication. Remember, arrays are multiplication. So back to this, it was 11 units by 8 units. So 11 times 8 means that we would be able to fit 88 square inches inside our canvas. So it's got an area of 88 square inches, or 88 units squared. All right, so 88 units squared is the same thing as saying 88 square units. This little 2 is an exponent, and that means squared. All right, and that means we're talking about 1 square unit instead of just, one line that is a unit long. All right, so that's the difference. This is just 1 unit. This is a square unit because it's a unit by a unit by a unit by a unit. All right, so let's clear that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the area of this rectangle. So use the formula area equals length times width. And when we come back, we will check our work and see how we did. So our numbers are in the labels. Don't forget to check the labels.